Welcome to MBKM Models. Today we're going to talk about model paints, which is a very big subject. I've got all the paints that I've had a dig around and had a look at the variety of paints I use. I mean, I don't stick with one make. Is one better than another? No, they're not. I use the different paints for different things. Now, just to go through them, just here we have the classic British Humbrol, all right, which is very good. This is the only one I've got. It's quite an old one as well. I mean, that was in my model paints box. But you've got MIG, all right, okay, a MIG. I'm sure they come with a stirring ball in them, all right. Yeah, there you go, okay. So it's with a stirring ball. That's great because when you shake it up, the little ball mixes the paint for you. Now, going through them, we've got Tamiya, all right. Tamiya do excellent little glass pots. What I do is I keep them and I use them to mix the paint for airbrushing in them, or generally anything I'm painting really, I use thinners with it. Now this stuff, I got this, a guy on YouTube uses this stuff for cockpit or fuselage interiors, you know, when you paint your cockpit green. I saw him put this stuff on and I didn't know what it was, and I tracked it down, and they sell this in these Games Workshop places in the UK. I don't know what it's called in other countries. They use it for painting these gaming figures and things like that, and it's great. It's a bit like a panel line wash. You put your cockpit green on, let it dry, put some gloss varnish on it, and then let this seep into all the frames and window frames and everything else, and it gives depth to it. It's like a panel wash. But like I said, if you want to buy this, it's called Citadel Agrax Earth Shade. All right. And it really does the job on fuselage interiors. OK. All right. Now let's go through them. We've got MIG panel wash here. It's good stuff. It's all good stuff. And we've got also Vallejo. Now I use a fair few of these Vallejo paints. They are very good. I would say it's the one I use the most of. This tropical is not tropical green, actually, it's yellow green. And when I built the PT-109, trying to get World War II US Navy tropical green is not the easiest thing in the world. So I sort of tracked it down to this yellow green. And it's excellent for World War II tropical colours. Vallejo, yeah, very good. Vallejo, yeah, I use a lot of it. And there's a Vallejo panel wash there. I think this one is an acrylic panel wash. I personally find it quite hard to use, but it's good. But I find it hard to use. Perhaps you would find it easier. Leave your comments below. Just purchased this off of Amazon. Okay. Airbrush thinner. You can't get enough of this stuff. Using water with acrylics doesn't work that well. You need the proper thinners. The thinner is made up of distilled water and like industrial alcohol. You really water. No. This stuff is good. There's more acrylic thinners made by MIG, Ammo MIG, and I use a lot of these as well. Now, I mean, if I go in artist material shops, there's a lot of artists' acrylics on the market, but what I find is the best one for price and the colours to match. You remember any colour scheme from World War II is a very definite colour, where artist acrylics are not definite. They're a little bit more easy going. They're not so harsh, And I tend to mix this with other things, and I will match the colour on what it says on the paint scheme on a kit. Now I use this cadmium scarlet hue on the underside, you know, for the PT-109, the patrol boat, and it's very good. This scarlet, it's very, very good. And pound for pound, penny for penny, once you've cut this, watered it down with your thinners, it works out a little bit more viable. But you're not gonna. The thing with this is it's good for covering large areas. It's not something I'd use on detail or to bring up, you know, like your finish. It's for large areas, and it saves me a bit of money. I can't remember how much these are, but you're getting a lot of paint there for what you pay for. All right, and at the back, hiding at the back, we have got Revell. Okay, now Revell paints. Paint is paint. It's good. Personally, I don't get along with the container it comes in. I actually probably spilt the paint trying to get it undone. I just didn't know how to do it. But once you know, it's fine. But you don't get the simplicity with Revell what you get with the other paints. Perhaps I don't know, I should have read up how to open it, but I use Revell paints in and out, all right? There's nothing wrong with them. It's just I struggled a little bit with the container that it came in. But that's pretty much a fair selection there. I mean, let's go for it again. We've got MIG, we've got Vallejo, we've got Tamiya, we've got Revell, Vallejo airbrush thinners, panel washes, and the ones from the Games Workshop, which is the Agrax Earthshade. You know, watching YouTube videos gives you very good tips and hints. When I'm painting models, I mean, like I said, I get all the hints and tips from YouTube. I've been building models a long time, so I've got memories of paint. I could be wrong on this, but go back. I first built a plastic kit in about 1971, and I cannot remember acrylics being on sale. It was enamels, and when you're a child, I would rush and tear at models, and I'd land up with paint all over my hands that I used to have to get off with terps. My parents rubbing it off with rag and terps. And nowadays, the selection of water-based paints, which are acrylics, are far greater. So I've got a friend, and he only paints in enamels. He doesn't use acrylics at all. I mean, he's old school, but personally, for the amount of mistakes I make, I use acrylics. I just find it a lot easier. I mean, you can airbrush enamels, you can airbrush acrylics. In all, like I said, perhaps it's me getting older, or I find acrylics easier. But I mean, there's people out there who paint in artist oils. I mean, I was watching one guy on YouTube paints all his model aircraft in artist oils, and he absolute beautiful job he does on it. But personally, I find the acrylics a lot easier. But I mean, I've had people say to me, "Oh, you can cut them, dilute them with water," but you don't get the finish that you get with the thinners. All right, okay, the thinners. Now, I found the best ratio for to thin all of these paints here. It's about 10 drops to about 2 to 3 drops of thinners into an old little Tamiya paint pot, and then see how you get on, and then you can work from there. I mean, you gotta have your paint the same consistency as milk. All right, so it's not thin but not thick. And we all know what milk looks like when it comes out of the jar or the bottle or wherever it comes in. So you've got to have it similar. But the thing to do is start with it thick. Like I say, I mean, for paint, they're putting 20 drops of paint to 4 to 5 drops of thinner. Okay, so you don't want to do that much. So you're doing something like, I don't know, 10 drops of paint to about 2 to 3 drops of thinner. And then see how it looks. And then you can add a bit more thinner, add a bit more thinner. Put it in your airbrush. See how it performs. Because all paints are mixed differently. I mean, I will do the drip test video for you, which should, I mean, it does work very well, the drip test. It's, you get the right air pressure for what you're spraying every time, but you've still got to mix it properly. And like I said, the thing to do is get an old, once you finish one of these, get an old one of these, sweat it out. All right, okay. Take the label off of it, clean it up, and then you can mix your paint in these very, very good little jars. I mean, I've got a load of them. You're not going to do it with your Valleos or your MIGs, but with these Tamiya paint, they provide these little jars, and all of these companies, they all do different shades, different colors. I mean, they all do the standard, like in all of them. You're going to get Vietnam green as opposed to World War II olive green. You're going to get the right color for... Another one is Russian brown, yeah? So if you're building a Zvezda are good kits. So if you're building a Zvezda armored, yeah? You're going to want the Russian brown from World War II. It's a particular color of its day, all right? So they all do, most of them do the standards, okay, which is your sea gray and RAF green and RAF gray and Japanese gray, all of that. But within these different companies, you will then start to find they compete against each other with particular shades. So, I mean, when you're painting your model, shop around. You will build up a good set of paints. Shop around. Have a look at different makes, all right? I mean, your aim is to build a model kit with a good finish on it, all right? So... Like I said, I've got about half a dozen different companies on here. None of them are any better than the others. They're all excellent, and they all do different things. All right. The only thing that I would say is the Revell paint container. It could be better. All right. But other than that, they're all very good. I mean, the Revell paint, I think that might be that could be, no, it's an aquacolor. So it's matte black or gloss black, one of the two, and it's an acrylic. All right. Well, like I said, you know, take your time. All right. If you're airbrushing, about 5 drops thinner to 10 to about, no, less than that, about 3 drops thinner to 10 drops paint, and then see how you get on, and then you can work from that. Use that as your datum, your bottom line, all right? So your datum is 10 drops of paint, 3 drops of thinner, and then have a look at the consistency of the paint. If you need to add more thinner, do it, all right? Experiment, try it out in your airbrush, all right? And you need to thin these as well if you're going to brush painting, but you'll know when that looks right. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and until next time.